Hey, YouTube. What's the big old deal, man? This is y'all favorite hood partner, Big Nina Boy. We back with another one. So it looks like the feds have fumbled the ball. Yeah, man. It looks like Big U RICO case is starting to have some cracks in the ground. A lot of people thought it was just, it was a one and done, like they had Big U. But for some reason, it seemed like the feds have made some errors in their paperwork and all of this crazy shit, which won't be used in court. Also, a lot of the stuff the feds was trying to use against Big U, like Luce Cannon's RICO interview. Luce Cannon's No Jumper interview about, the guns and all that shit. That won't be played in court. It's hearsay. But, everybody like, damn, nigga, Big U about to do 600 years. Nigga ain't never gonna see life. And, hey, man, look, I believe he's a Muslim. So, look like Allah might got favor with that man, homie. It looks like, shit, if they keep making these type of mistakes, bro, he might have action. But before we get into the content, bro, I always be finding these clips that I got to bust it down with y'all on, man. This was a man who went in when he was 16 years old and came home at 37. This for all the YNs, bro. Don't be no young nigga get caught up at 16 and don't get your life back until you 37. Let's go.
To it. When I got locked up, we had standard clips. While I was locked up, they made it extendos. I come home and now it switches. Meaning, you went from regular shooting to making it to where I can shoot even longer to speeding up me shooting longer. You ain't even satisfied with me killing them. You trying to get me to kill more than one at a time. Pay attention. We losing, bro. Love y'all niggas, man. Come on. I'm in a fight with you. I'm gonna rumble with you. Real rap. Jobs, resources, whatever you need. You scrambling, bro. I got a few connections I can wiggle here.
Now, I'm gonna be honest. Now, you heard that part where he said he got a few connections he could wiggle. Now, if that was California and them LA YNs, you talking about a job? Oh man, they would have turned that. Man, get this nigga up out of here. Nigga talking about nigga, I got some connections. I could get you a 9 to 5. These YNs don't want no 9 to 5. They got Carisha from whatever girl group talking about scamming and spin that shit. And these little niggas want to scam. These niggas want to go catch a $20,000 play so they could go do 10 years in prison. They just want to ball for a couple months in the summer. These niggas don't care about nothing else, nigga, but besides, being Instagram famous, YouTube famous, and having a bag where everybody can see it so they can have their bragging rights and say, oh, nigga, me when I had that shit. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, it's for y'all YNs, man. Let me tell you something, bro. You break your own heart pretending like these motherfuckers really care about you, man. Stop thinking these niggas in the streets care about you, homie. Because at the end of the day, don't nobody wake up with you on their mind. You see what I'm saying? So, hey, the best way you could do this shit, nigga, is grind by your lonely, nigga, and trust nobody. Because a friend today could be an enemy tomorrow. Let's go. Shout out to Brian Blake, man. This is his content, man. Y'all know how we do it. Let's go.
This Big U case continues to take wild turns. But if you ask me, it also continues to fall apart. Every angle that the government has taken to make Big U look a certain way is actually starting to be contradicted more and more by their evidence. Now, today we're going to be taking a look at the famous No Jumper clip from Luce Cannon, and I'm going to be showing you how Big U's defense team is working to keep this out of court, to keep this from being used as evidence against him, and it probably will stand. I'm pretty sure that it's going to stand. But I also want y'all to take a look at how they manipulated things to go in their favor, knowing that there was a very, very strong possibility that this evidence would not be admissible anyway. Without wasting any more time, let's get to it.
Him back some of the stolen things and demanding $10,000 so it doesn't happen again. Now, this is a crazy extortion method as it is, but to make matters even more crazy, years later, after falling out with Big U whilst on the No Jumper podcast, Luce Cannon would discuss this incident openly, saying how he found it strange how Big U would send them out on robberies and then the victims would later turn up to take their things back.
So basically, it's like, cause he'll be like he'll manipulate things. Like we'll go and do something, and as soon as we do it to show up to the house like 10 minutes later when we trying to counting everything, right?
How is that not snitching, gang? Like, for the life of me, man, how is that not telling? How can you say that this man is not incriminating Big U? You see what I'm saying? Anybody at this point that's associated with Luce Cannon, bro, it's no, how you explain that? Oh, no, he was just lying for the internet. Come on, bro. Nigga don't know what a nigga intentions is, man, if you wasn't inside that man's head, bro. This right here, with all the shit Luce Cannon got going on, from the No Jumper situation to him saying he the devil and he's like that and he's the boogeyman and he robbed Meek Mills, he robbed Rick Ross, all of those allegations, those lies and shit. If they want to play ball, his defense team got ammunition to prove that this nigga's not worthy of any statement. So that's why I say, man, when you come to this internet, bro, you cannot afford to slip and even play like this. This is the wrong type of play. But, Wack 100, I got to give it to him. I ain't never seen a nigga run a play on a nigga so bad where he got you singing like Jodeci, nigga, on the biggest platform in California of the hip-hop and gang culture. It ain't the biggest. I'm pretty sure it's somebody out there that's bigger, that's doing it on a bigger level. But at the gang culture level, this is the biggest platform you could possibly be on. And this nigga is singing like Jodeci, gang. Let's go.
And we be like, how do they get that? Oh, well, we're gonna just give them like $40,000 back and stuff like that. But cuz it's actually putting us in paperwork, right?
Luce also claimed that Big U had supplied guns to the homies, but noted down the serial numbers for these guns as collateral.
Seen it get like 20 guns, and when he got 20 guns, he's selling them to the homies. But I'm like, why are you writing down the serial numbers? So it's
All right, man. This is crazy work, man. So the company had cut the the network off and came back on. I don't know why they did. It was a glitch, but we back cracking, man. Yeah, man. Let me pull this back up, man. Appreciate everybody being patient, man. It was on their end, definitely not on mine. So let's go.
we're gonna just give them like $40,000 back and stuff like that. But because it's actually putting us in paperwork, right?
Luce also claimed that Big U had supplied guns to the homies, but noted down the serial numbers for these guns as collateral.
Seen it get like 20 guns, and when he got 20 guns, he's selling them to the homies. But I'm like, why are you writing down the serial numbers? So it's like he was doing like that, and I didn't catch on.
This would never play out in court. You've seen Big U give homies guns, which will have to include, you would have to say who he gave the guns to. Since you say you've seen him give homies guns. I don't think Luce Cannon understand though, right? Nigga, you're gonna have to face him in court. If he's going pro se, whatever, he has a right to face his accusers, bro. And it's bad enough that you're stuttering all the time, bro. It's no way that they'll find you credible. This nigga, woo, shit. Just imagine Big U, nigga getting out his chair, walking up to the stand as he take the stand and he asks this nigga these questions. He's gonna humiliate this dude. I don't think that in a debate or anything that Luce Cannon could go up against Big U. Intellectually, hell nah, bro. The nigga barely could talk when he on these interviews. So I know in court, they go kill his ass. Let's go.
So it was like, I'm waking up now. You get what I'm saying? Because I'm his right-hand man. You get what I'm saying? So when it came down to like dirt and stuff.
But this the thing though, right? Nobody said, how come Wack set the whole play up? Wack brought him on there to snitch on Big U. You know what I'm saying? That's why, how they say, what's the saying? If you fuck with him, you better duck with him. You know what I'm saying? A nigga that play both sides, he the enemy too. You see what I'm saying? Like, nigga played both sides the whole way through. It's no way that y'all can't say that, oh, well, Wack didn't say nothing. Not, nigga, you took a man onto a major platform just so he can snitch on his own people. You see what I'm saying? You associating with a snitch, doing business with a rat, makes you a rat. If you hang with them rats, you know, it's just you a rat. Nigga, you know damn well he telling. Let's go.
Like that, I'm gonna get it. Do you get what I'm saying?
Now, this short clip will play a huge role in Big U's indictment, as the officer who prepared this complaint would say that on the No Jumper podcast, after stating that Williams was Henley's right-hand man, Williams explained, so basically, he'll manipulate things. We'll go and do something, and then the same niggas we do it to show up to the house like 10 minutes later as we trying to count everything, and we be like, how the fuck? This was important because this served as not just a recounting of events, but corroboration of the victim's version of events. Y'all have to remember, this robbery was not caught on camera. It was not caught on a wiretap. The only evidence that they had of this robbery was the victim's own complaint, who happened to be facing criminal charges at the time. So his credibility was, in fact, questionable. This was also a big moment.
Dale Morrison is what he talk about. He's talking about Dale Morrison right now. Let's go.
Because this is the moment where people got a chance to see what Wack 100 was really up to. As y'all can see in the documents, Wack would state during this interview, you know why he wanted to give the dude back 10, right? Back 40, right? Because he was going to make the dude give him 20 for getting it back. Williams then agreed, of course, and would go on to state two other people that he did this to, but this also established an MO, you know? So Luce was corroborating the robbery, and Wack was making sure that the MO was placed on the record. Now, Big U's defense team, who I have to acknowledge is doing a great job. They doing a really good job at combing through these allegations and presenting logical explanations, not just coming up with any old explanation.
Man, so right now, currently, I gotta dive back in it though, right? So I believe the judge is trying to figure out, you know, did they have a valid reason to even give him a Title III wiretap? You see what I'm saying? And did they submit all the information in regards of that Title III wiretap? So if they left anything out, right, it could blow that whole wiretap out the water where it won't be used in court. You see what I'm saying? So right now they trying to figure out, it's an argument. You know what I'm saying? There's some arguments about that Title III wiretap, and you know, did they withheld information from the judge? You see what I'm saying? Because if it plays out in court, it's man, it might he might come out on top. He might come on. It could happen. Big U could really come home, bro. You know, despite all the allegations, because that's primarily what it is at this point. All they got on Big U is allegations, homie. You see what I'm saying? Like if I said, you know what I'm saying, Breeze out was digging in the nose, man, and pissed on themselves. That's just hearsay. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of this shit, bro, you know, we've been going off of this shit, but we have not seen no concrete situation where they got on Big U. Everything is hearsay. You know, they got a lot of people talking and telling on them, but if the feds withheld any information, lied about anything in regards of that wiretap, man, they won't be able to use none of that shit. And they got hours and hours and hours of, man, come on, bro. See, that's why he was trying to go to court ASAP. He was trying to get his speedy trial. Boom, but you know, for some reason they would like, hell no, nigga. They try to get their ducks in order. So their only way is looking if they able to get Big U, somebody is going to have to snitch, because all this shit that we thought that they had in the bag. I mean, they might got them on some you know, that PPP loan shit, but far as all this other shit, the murder, all that crazy shit, they don't have nothing on them. I'm not even surprised that way it's looking. They're gonna have to bring Melly Mel in, right? Melly Mel, if he stays solid, if the other niggas, because only person I would, Dale Morrison's gonna snitch, right? But this is somebody who got a human trafficking case and all that shit, so they might not find that man credible. You know what I'm saying? He might lie and say anything he can to get up out of his situation, but Luce Cannon, he's looking like his shit ain't gonna go at all, bro. The nigga lied and said he robbed Meek Mills, Rick Ross. He was having sex with Shaq's wife. Like Eddie Winslow was taking it in the rectum. Like, come on, gang. Like the nigga was whoosh. I don't know, man, but Big U might just come up out of this. So I mean, he's a Muslim, so it looked like Allah might just do it. Yeah, nigga, he probably on his knees praying every day, nigga, taking that, you know what I mean, getting his eating right, because he don't need it, because when sitting in the courtrooms and all that shit, I'm pretty sure it's like going to church. Nigga be sitting in that courtroom, sleep. Fighting for their life. Let's go.
Presenting real logical explanations that make perfect sense and make these claims sound very, very, very outlandish. I got to get them props on that. It's not the Big 30 defense, you know, where Big 30 is like, oh, I was there, but I gave him a bag, but I ain't know nothing about no robbery. You know, Big U ain't saying, yeah, I was there. All of that happened, but I called them, but I ain't say, you know, they coming with good logical defenses. And I have to admit, too, that it's working. What we going to look at right now is a page from a document that was filed by Big U's attorney. We looked at this document before, but we looked at a different part. This is a motion to exclude certain other acts, evidence, and certain testimonies. In this motion, they state defendant first, statements made by Williams are not admissible against Mr. Henley because the government says they illuminate enterprise structure. If Mr. Williams does not testify, admission of those statements raises serious hearsay, confrontation clause, and Branton concerns, which is very true. If he doesn't testify to these things on the record against Big U, then allowing him to go in here and this is hearsay, literally.
What I tell y'all, they done bag Luce Cannon up against the wall. You understand what I'm saying? All that shit Luce Cannon is fighting against, it's chess, bro. You got to look at it. He's not going to fight, though, all those cases that they got on him, all that shit from the robberies to you know, even his ex-wife, Gina, might possibly have to testify against him. You know what I'm saying? Then on top of that, you got this no jumper situation. That boy looking at 40-some years. He's only 44 years old, 44, 45. You understand me? And we talking about Fed time? Come on, bro. Come on, bro. The Feds might get 30 years about that boy. Man, come on, gang. Come on. Yeah. I'm talking about he might not make it until he's 70-some years old. Sit back and look at this play. He's already snitched on Big U on No Jumper. On No Jumper. He's looking at 40-some years. You know what I'm saying? He might do 30 off of that. That will make him 70-some years old. All his counterparts will have been dead. His children will be grown with kids, probably with no relationship. He will be forgotten, and he will riding in one of them jail cells. You see what I'm saying? His daddy is already never coming home. He's been addicted to riding around in a Bentley, you know what I'm saying, living in a baby mansion with your wife and having multiple properties, traveling, touching money, diamonds, you know what I'm saying? And now you finna trade that shit in behind some niggas who don't fuck with you. That's why I'm very convinced he's gonna give it up. Why wouldn't he not snitch when he already been told? He folded already. We just seen the clip of him telling Adam on the interview that he's seen alleged situations with, So, yeah, bro. Yeah, he's going to testify. They're grilling him right now. They grilling him. They probably trying to work out a number with Luce Cannon where because he's going to have to do something. He's going to have to serve some time. I'm pretty sure they trying to work out a number where they both comfortable just because he's the last reserve. If they can't get him on any other shit, they go pull out Luce Cannon as their secret weapon. Let's go.
Second, if the government invokes Rule 801 D2E, it must first establish with independent evidence that the statements were made during and in furtherance of the charged conspiracy. This is where they are going to have an issue in my concern. I'm going to read the rest of this. Third, even apart from hearsay, the label enforcer is unfairly prejudicial and conclusory. It is, because y'all have to put evidence in front of the jury and let them decide if he is a person who, plays the role of enforcer. Fourth, the No Jumper incident risks devolving into a mini trial within a trial concerning an uncharged robbery with powerful spillover prejudice. The court should exclude the category in its entirety. Now let's get to the breakdown.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
In this first segment, of course, we know that this is hearsay. Big U is not there. He's not talking to Big U. Big U is not making these statements. So anything that Luce Cannon is saying Big U did or said is technically hearsay. Second, this is the part that I said I think the government is going to have problems with. And it really shows that, like Big U is arguing, this judge kind of just signed off on this because it's Big U. In this second segment, it says, if the government invokes Rule 801 D2E, which would allow them to use the hearsay statements, it must first establish with independent evidence that the statements were made during and in furtherance of the charged conspiracy. So they not only have to prove that.
So what did that tell y'all? What did that tell y'all? Just say hypothetically speaking, gang, if they use the footage from No Jumper, guess who else might have to show up in court to verify that that's what Luce Cannon said? Adam 22. And he already made it clear. If he got to go to court, he's going to give them exactly what they need. He's not biting his tongue. He's not lying, messing up his business for no niggas that he don't really know like that. Yeah, so I'm convinced, my nigga. I'm convinced. Luce Cannon don't have no other play. If you look at the scoreboard, look at his options. You can clearly see he don't have no other options. If not, he go keep a zip lip like a real nigga do, take his time like a man, you know what I'm saying? And don't tell on nobody. Don't fold. You did your crimes, nigga, do your time. Do we think Luce Cannon is strong enough to do that? Hell fucking no. Hell no, I'm not even playing. He might even try to bring Wack in it. But for sure, if because of his lying and his antics that he played on multiple platforms, I'm pretty sure, you know what I'm saying, they gonna try to summons Adam 22 in there too, just to make sure that what he said was mind and sound. Let's go.
That these statements were made. They have to prove that these statements were made during the conspiracy, meaning during this racketeering act where they were coming together doing these robberies and all of this stuff. And they also would have to prove that they were made in furtherance of the conspiracy, meaning that they were made to further the movement, bolster the reputation, make people more afraid, and all of that of the Big U enterprise, though, not of Luce Cannon, of the Big U enterprise. This is where I see their issue. In the complaint, immediately after the officer says that Williams' recounting of the story corroborates the victim's account, he goes into more evidence against Williams, which is Luce Cannon, but he immediately contradicts exactly what they need to be able to present this evidence, because he details how Luce Cannon is now calling Big U big useless and big uterus, and they don't fuck around no more, which would mean that these statements were not made during the charged conspiracy. He said these same things during the interview, but he lists them in the indictment. They weren't made during the charged conspiracy, obviously, because Luce Cannon and Big U are no longer dealing with each other on any level. Also, they are not inferred.
Do y'all see where he fucked up at? Now do y'all get it? See, at the time he went on those on his press run, his tour run, him and Big U had no communication whatsoever. They have fallen out. You see what I'm saying? That shit is not gonna, they gonna boot this shit out the water, gang. He talked himself into some shit and walked himself right out of it. They're not gonna be able to use all that shit that Luce Cannon said on that No Jumper interview, bro. They're not. If something is submitted and it's approved, it ain't gonna be half of that shit that he was talking. Let's go.
Furtherance of the charged conspiracy, because Luce Cannon is now attempting to discredit Big U by saying that he's the police. Big U was being accused of being a snitch by Luce Cannon and working with the police. So this would be the exact opposite of bolstering the reputation of the Big U enterprise. During the same interview where he talks about the robberies, he talks about how Big U is the police and he writing down serial numbers and, you know, all of this stuff. Like he's entrapping the homies type shit. You see what I'm saying? So how could that be considered in furtherance of the Big U enterprise? And how could it be considered during the time frame of the conspiracy between Big U and Luce Cannon? If we look at this paperwork, you will see that it's basically charging Big U because Luce Cannon mentioned him, because he don't got nothing good to say about him. So to say that these things are being said in furtherance of the Big U enterprise is just this officer trying to take some stuff and make it go together because Big U's name is being mentioned, which is why I say this is a persecution, man. This is not a prosecution. This is a persecution, because like they talking about the robbery at No Jumper when some other people got beat, and talking about the fact that he mentioned Big U in a video that he made after that as evidence that this is in furtherance of the Big U enterprise. Big U wasn't there. Big U wasn't even dealing with dude at this time, you know? So that's the type of stuff they coming up with. I don't think that that's going to stick at all. If we being honest, I got to be real with y'all. First, I want to point out that the government did not address this at all. They responded, they filed a motion, a reply, but they did not address this part at all, which is considered a concession in court. Anytime there is a mention of an argument and you don't reply to that argument, the courts will consider that a concession. They'll say that you concede that because you didn't present an argument for it, unless the prosecutor files a motion and says, well, he wants to reserve, these points on this topic for oral argument, or he filed some kind of sealed supplement saying he want to keep this, but I don't see that because I'm looking at the docket. Another thing that I want to point out to y'all is the fact that this, as much as I think Luce Cannon is a goofy, as much as I think he's a goofy, this tells me that Luce Cannon is not scheduled to testify. Luce Cannon has not formally proffered, I don't believe. I know Wack been running his little plays, but based off the fact that Big U's attorney is asking them to completely remove this portion, I don't think he's been given any sign or signal that Luce Cannon plans to testify. That's why he said if he doesn't testify, then this is hearsay. And technically right now it falls within that category, you know. So and by him saying that, that's my sign that Luce Cannon is not scheduled to testify. There's been no indication that he's going to testify. As much as I think he is a goofy, I gotta say that right there. So this kind of exonerates him of, you know, being on that list. If he was, I believe the government would have responded and said, well, we
That part right there. So Luce Cannon have not testified, right? But you got to look at his options, though. Look at those options. You know what I'm saying? Is he gonna be a man? Because it's really only one way. You be a man and you know you keep your head up and do the time for the crimes that you've been convicted for and mind your own business, or you gonna do it. A lot of these niggas that I believe, bro, out of all of this gangster shit in the streets, bro, everybody ain't solid, gang. It's impossible. Every last nigga out here, I ain't never heard a nigga say he a hater in the streets. I ain't never heard a nigga say he a real nigga. I mean, you know what I'm saying? That he'll do all this time. Most of these niggas, bro, these niggas swear they solid until it's time to stand in front of that judge and take that shit on the chin, bro. You see what I'm saying? Now, do I believe at the last minute, if they present him an option to get Big U out the way to knock down his time? Absolutely. Pooh Shiesty Daddy was telling for years and years and years. They dropped his time down. I mean, he was looking at all day. He ended up coming home. You see what I'm saying? And was an informant for a long ass time. So do I think Luce Cannon could actually pull that shit off? Absolutely. But right now, it's showing that he have not made any statements. He have not took a proffer, or he has not testified.
We have turned in our documents and we have listed Williams as a witness. So, you know, woo, woo, woo. But they went completely silent on the topic. So that's my take on that. With that said, I'm going to wrap this one up, man. I felt like this was something that I needed to bring to y'all just to show y'all this case really is falling apart. You know, one thing about being an agent or an officer is they aren't always knowledgeable when it comes to the law, you know? So while he was drawing connections, I don't think he was considering that these connections had to be presented a certain way and had to, you know, pass certain criteria in order to be admissible. So while it may work on a level as far as filing a complaint and saying, hey, this may be probable cause, that's not a good enough. That's not the same standard as finding a person guilty or not guilty. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out with Big Dale's credibility issues and the fact that we now see that he was informed prior to the event that certain artists weren't coming. And now that we know when Big U was saying pay the rent, that he was actually renting a house from Big U, then, you know, we see that this is kind of thrown together. Not even kind of, it's really thrown together. I'm going to wrap this one up, but I'm definitely going to be coming back to y'all with some more, man. I got something else I want to break down for y'all too regarding these financial charges. They actually made a huge mistake when it comes to that. So be looking for that. You know, we're gonna try to mix it in. I don't be wanting to flood y'all with
fumbled
too much, you know, but
they have fumbled. They have fumbled. They have took some L's, man. You know, when the federal government makes mistakes, bro, there's no way they could proceed with whatever claimings or findings that they had. You know what I mean? So, and all it takes is an error. If the date is wrong, if you give the wrong date, the wrong time, it can't be used in court. They don't get that option. So it looked like the feds have took some loss. They have fumbled the ball. They didn't drop the ball. And Big U got some action, man. And we're going to see what's going on. So make sure y'all like, hype, and stay tuned to what's going on, man. I'll hit y'all on the next one. Let's get it. Let's go.